Welcome back to this, Jack. I'm a little annoyed right now. My other key light that I was using for my green screen stuff is now, because it screws into the thread. It screws into like a pivot point, and it's just not screwing in and staying. Like you can spin it, and it's like no, there's no tension there or anything like that. So, so yeah, needless to say, I'm a little annoyed about that because Elgato key lights are not cheap. So either I'll have to wait to replace it. I'll have to find another workaround. Right now, I think if I got some Teflon, like that Teflon tape that's used for creating better seals effectively, that might make the difference. We'll see. Yeah, that's just my annoyance right now. Heads up, my stomach's making weird gurgly noises, so I might have to take a long break. Just a heads up. So, but we will see. Alrighty then. Let's check to see if Helltide was going on. It is not. Alright. Let me clear up my inventory. I just got a bunch of garbage in here. Go sell all this. Or no, go scrap it. I need the material. I've been burning through silver. Hey, Trickster. You said you enjoyed the new Insidious movie. I think it was Insidious. What'd you like about it? There's a certain like nightmare buff that I really try to avoid right now, and it's basically every time they hit you, they take away some of your energy, and it's like that means I can't use like half my abilities. You didn't need to do that, but I do appreciate it. Thank you, Trickster. Waiting for the objection to go off. There it is. I don't know if I should turn that down or not, because it was intentionally made to like scare me or like break my attention when I'm like playing Souls likes, which I don't play Souls likes as much anymore. And starting next week, I will be playing Arkham games like once a week. I just wanted to vibe out today because I'm not gonna lie, I had a bit of a mental episode last night, like, and I'll talk about it if y'all want to hear about it. But for the most part, it's something stupid. Like like even when I was going through like the episode, I was like, this is stupid. I should not be bothered by this. But emotional state and mental problems don't care about logic and reason. They just don't. And in case you're wondering, yes, I decided to embrace the werebear because they just like, no, you're gonna play werebear, and I'm like, okay, fine, I guess I'm playing werebear. Well, isn't that the point of watching a horror flick, that it scares you? Because you can't very well call like the original Evil Dead a horror flick. It like, well, then again, like a lot of the horror flicks during that time, they were usually so cheesy that they became funny. Like, let's look at Critters, for instance. Like, the little balls that eat everything, and you're just like, okay, it's kind of funny, I guess. Or that's kind of scary, I guess. And then you have, like, Leprechaun. They just became parodies of themselves. Oh, okay. I do appreciate it, as I said before. That means, next month I should get my first payout, which $100 will be appreciated because it looks like I'll be paying the month of August's rent for by myself, which it'll suck, but whatever. It just means it's another month of me being broke. I should still be able to get Armored Core, though. You did see you did watch the deleted scene I sent you, right? Yeah, no, like you were a big part of it. You and Pepe were a big part of me being able to reach that goal. It's a very personal milestone. So I've been this channel is my first thing I did. Okay, technically second thing I did in content creation. There's actually another channel I started with way back in the day called The Geek's Perspective, and I'm going to bring it back eventually once I have other content creators who are not just interested in doing it, but are actually willing to put effort into it, because that's a whole nother bag of mental worms there. Once I'm actually built a team around myself, then I'll probably bring that back as like a podcast. No, because although I haven't seen the movie myself, I just felt that was something you needed to see. I'm pretty sure you'd seen it before. At least it wouldn't surprise me if you did. I'm gonna start like using you as my movie correspondent. Like whenever I start doing the the live stream podcasts on Coffee Over Gaming, I'll just have you as my like what you say about movies as my movie correspondent. Because you know me, I won't be seeing a lot of the movies, but I probably should cover them anyway. So it's like, and movie correspondent Trickster says that the movie was good. They particularly enjoyed its atmosphere and its comedy, or something like that. And then just go with whatever rating you said.
I'm low on spirit.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm like you know me, I'm like really behind on a lot of movies, especially my Marvel movies and TV shows. Like I never finished Loki. I know what happens. Scarlet Witch, same thing. Hawkeye, which I really want to see. I actually do not know the ending of Hawkeye. That's not from me avoiding it. I just don't know. I do know there's something about a play for Captain America. And the sad part is, like, with me not watching Hawkeye, kind of a big deal, because Hawkeye's one of my favorites. I probably would have stopped to watch She-Hulk with a passion if it wasn't for they don't make her, they just make her big and green. They don't make her muscular.
You were the answer to my prayers.
And I know the Dungeons and Dragon movie is legitimately good, because my buddy Matt Techie, who's like a very big cynic on everything, like if everything is either okay or it's bad, he said this was legitimately good. So like he felt the need to watch it more than once. Like he saw the Avatar movie, the Blue People movie, Way of the Water. He saw it once. He said it was a good movie. It was a good movie. It's just that he just didn't feel the desire to watch it more than once. This movie's like, no, I feel the need to watch it more than once. There he is. I was looking for the person who's giving him all those buffs.
I'm low on spirit.
Oh, did you hear that the voice actress for Milan, she died? was gonna make a short about it, but I really have like the only connection I have to that movie is the fact that Mulan is my favorite Disney princess. No, I know. I've seen that pop. That's the reason I know it exists, is because I see that across my Facebook timeline all the time. Which I do want to bring this up. So Facebook through Instagram now has Threads, which is basically their version of Twitter, which I do have an account on. I don't care if anybody follows me. But I do have it mostly so I can like pay attention, like I can catch news as it's going on. Yeah, but my official live streams will probably start moving to like 5 p.m. And the specific reason for that is because I'm planning on noons being when I do my podcast stream on Coffee Over Gaming and Coffee Over Politics. Monday will be Coffee Over Politics. Friday will be Coffee Over Gaming. I think I'll start with Coffee Over Gaming being this coming Friday. Can't guarantee that I'll actually do it because it comes down to whether or not I have a mental breakdown or not. Because I have a couple more assets I want to throw together. Like, I have, like, the lower third, and I also need to find some good stories for it, because if I have nothing to talk about, I have nothing to talk about. It's just me, like, rambling like I do on stream, on this stream. But that's meant to be more of, like, a podcast, me covering, like, the news, and then me responding to people talking.
Do not have enough spirit.
Because the format for the shows I'm planning is it's going to have like, say, like five things in the news or more that I want to talk about. That's gonna be like the first 30 minutes or longer, depending on how many stories I find that I want to talk about. And then there'll be a section where it's where viewers can bring up stories to me, or and you can do that throughout the stream. I'll just address them then. Interesting. How do you get those early screening tickets? Like, is it because you buy like $50 million worth of movie tickets already? They're like, hey, pick that up. I'm barely even looting because I just don't feel the desire to. I'm just pretty much doing this for both the XP and the
Wait a moment.
possibility of uniques. Oh, okay. I don't know how I feel about the Mission Impossible series. Like I don't hate it. Like, you know me, I'm generally not a Tom Cruise fan. I do recognize he's a good actor. It's just something about his stuff that just kind of like makes me go, eh. And I kind of do feel like he needs to retire from action flicks. He's gonna get himself killed. But if he wants to, he can keep going. So me and my little sister Gothic were talking. And we were talking about, like, animes. We were talking specifically about animes you watch in English versus Japanese, or vice versa. Yeah, like, I think Family Guy did a good joke about that. Like, Tom Cruise seems to run in all of his movies, and it's like, you can't catch me, gay thoughts. Oh, okay. I see what it is. I really do need to start going out and meeting people. Like, you're talking about like going out to all these movies and stuff like that, but I know I really need to start going out and meeting people. I'm like 50-50. It really comes down to the anime itself. Also, like, who's voice acting what? Like, All Might, I feel like, as a character, needs to be in English. Like, he needs to be in English. Colonel Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist is another, incidentally voiced by the same person. But I also, on the inverse, feel that Goku needs to be in Japanese. Because the voice actress for him is so great. She does a great job. And yes, Goku's voiced by a female. She's been doing the voice for Goku since forever. No, like, sad part is, like, I'm an ambivert. I flip back and forth. It all comes down to my social battery and what cycle of my bipolarism I am. So hang on, I'm about to go into my cycle, my mental problems here. So I mentioned I had like a bit of a mental breakdown yesterday. Like, I was gonna actually stream yesterday, but I had a bit of a depression attack. Let's call it that, not a mental breakdown. And the sad part it's something stupid. Like, intellectually, even then, I knew it was something stupid. Basically, what it was is, I was reading something. It was actually a fanfic of My Hero Academia. Don't judge me. And it had a bit of, like, Ochaka and Deku's relationship in it. But it was just drastically different. It was basically the concept of, what if Ochaka had gotten One for All? And I was like, this is a weird concept. I kind of want to see what they do with it. But anyway, and of course their relationship is still a thing. And Deku went into the hero support course instead. Which I'm like, oh, that's actually a really way of working him back into the story. But anyway, so because it had a lot of their relationship in it still, it kind of hit me hard. Because, like, I've got a lot of mental trauma about... Yeah. I've got a lot of mental trauma about abandonment and feeling like I'm never chosen. I've had more than a handful of friends who, when I'm like, I would say up until I was about 18, most of my friends made me feel like I was a burden to be a friend of, that I was the friend that nobody liked, and at least until I was 18. And then there's also the fact that I've been single for an obscene amount of time, and the few times I've almost had a relationship with someone, I'm not going to go into that story. I find out that the only reason she was interested in me was because I was keeping her from being homeless and without food several times. She was keeping me as an asset in case she needed the money to get groceries one day. And then when I stopped having extra money to spend on her, all of a sudden she lost interest in me. Trying not to curse. In case you haven't noticed, I pulled another unique, except for it's this chest piece. The one I'm literally wearing right now. I wonder if it's actually any better. Let me throw up a comparison. It is... Oh, no, I'm not wearing it. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So, like, I naturally have a lot of trauma when it comes to feeling like I'm never good enough, that I'm never like, people settle being my friend. People settle being around me, but don't want to be around me. So that's a trauma I've got in my head. It's probably never going away. Or if it does, it's going to take a lot of work. So reading Ochaka and Deku's relationship in that fanfic, it hit me in just the right way in my head. At just the right way and just the right angle that it messed with me.
You don't come back if you need anything else.
And mind you, and for the defense on that, it happened to also be on a day where I'm more sensitive to stuff like that. Because, like, as I always bring up, I'm bipolar. So there are some days where I am perfectly fine. You can't mess with me. I look at the world and say, try me. Other days when my chemical balance is a little weaker, it doesn't take much to set me off. So that's why when, like, you donate and you almost never miss a stream, it actually means a lot more to me because you choose to be here. You don't know me personally. We've never hung out in person or anything like that, but you're choosing to be here. All worth something. And that's something I've had to work into my own mind, is that we're all worth something. If you don't believe me, try to sell your kidney. But no, it's really hard to, like, deprogram the lack of feeling of self-worth. Oh, please tell me it doesn't have what I'm afraid of. No, okay. It's really hard to, like, work away that feeling of that lack of self-worth in your head. It's a lot of deprogramming. I've spent 3 years minimum. Like, I've been effectively doing it since 2016, but I really didn't put I didn't make any real progress until 2020. But I've been spending years trying to deprogram all this self-hate. And I would say, like, my biggest progress has been over the past, I would say, year even. It's a lot of my weight loss has been helping because, like, today I officially measured in at 44 inches around the gut. I started at 46, and my body weight didn't move for a very long time because I put on muscle just as fast as I lost weight. So I couldn't look at a scale and go, oh, you're losing weight. No, I'm not. Putting on muscle. And I can look at my arms and see I have visibly more muscle. So, but that still doesn't change the fact that it leaves the feeling that no one chooses to be around me. Now, once again, you donating the money you do, you never missing a stream, even though we've never met, means a lot to me because of that. Doesn't change the fact that that voice is still in my head. Yeah. And you seem to have done a good job on it, because a lot of your commentary on racism is like, what's the point? What's it do? Which is a fairly accurate way of putting it. It just ends up hurting people. Now, the really messed up part is it's not like this problem comes from, like, my grandma who raised, or my grandfather. They never made me feel like they never made me feel unwanted, ever. My grandma cared nothing about video games, not in the slightest. Like, video games was just not something she cared about. That didn't stop her from listening to me. That didn't stop her from sitting there and talking to me because I wanted to talk about Final Fantasy VII. And she would remember what I said. So when I talked about the game later, she goes, oh wait, I thought Sephiroth was this, that, and the other. She's like, and like, it just meant a lot to me. But it didn't stop that, like, in high school, no, actually, ever since elementary, no one seemed to want to be my friend. Now, it's just a lot of mental trauma. It's been built up over the years. And of course, the Navy put all this on steroids. But that's another conversation. Yeah, I never got that. I really never got that kind of feeling. Like, I never understood that kind of hatred. Now, is it racist to say you tend not to find African Americans attractive? No. If you just don't find someone attractive, you don't find them attractive. But if you phrase it as, I have no interest in you because of your ethnicity, not because you just don't find them attractive, that's a different conversation entirely. Just like I can look at a trans woman and go, she looks attractive. I'm not interested in dick. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, I want to have kids, and that's kind of a hurdle too. Yeah, like it's not a matter of ethnicity. If I just don't find someone attractive, I don't find them attractive. That's all there is to it. Um, I just feel that
Not ready yet.
you cut out a lot of your life just by simply saying I don't like something because of ethnicity. That's like saying I'm not going to eat tacos because it's Hispanic. Like, tacos are amazing. Or I'm not going to eat pizza because it's Italian. And that's perfectly fair. There's actually a cosplayer I want to bring up in this conversation. She tends to do a lot of she does a lot of amazing cosplay. I first saw her Aerith cosplay, which was just so amazing. But because she's African American, she's obviously not the correct ethnicity for a lot of these characters. Now, mind you, a lot of these characters are supposed to be Japanese, so it really doesn't freaking matter. And thankfully, I've never seen anybody say that to her because she's brilliant. She's amazing and freaking gorgeous. I think that I think people's different cultures and background just bring a different spice to life. And to live your life hating somebody because they were born different than you is just you're ruining your own life for that. You're missing out on so much chances to learn and see things from a different perspective. And that's not just ethnicity. And as I said, born different. People who are like, I can't. This person's dumb because they're autistic. You're missing out on so much about these people, about people who are autistic. One, a majority of people who I know who are autistic have that one topic that they know. Like, I'm not talking about like they have an idea about. I'm talking they know, and you get them talking about it. No, you're fine. You're fine. If you need me to repeat something, let me know. But they usually have a topic they know. Like, they are the unquestioned master of this topic. And it's usually anything that fascinates them. Being autistic doesn't make you dumb. It makes you approach information differently. And because you approach information differently, you can discover things or realize things that other people just overlook because they're already in the groupthink and you're not. You're not incapable of it. You're just more resistant to being stuck in a groupthink about things. Okay. Because I feel like a lot of the things I'm saying you would agree with. Maybe not on all the details, but in general. I'm really glad to have you here. This makes it a lot better. And I'm the biggest champion of anybody who tries to better themselves, to pursue their dreams of whatever it may be. As long as it's not built in hatred, obviously. A lot of what I do is built in spite. And that's including spite against myself. Every time, like, and as I said before, like, it depends on my chemical balance. Because some days, I'm like, screw you, I'm gonna win. No, you can interrupt as much as you want. It's my choice on whether or not I respond. Or wait until I finish a thought, then respond. Say what you want when you want. Because if not, I'll just move from one topic to the next. Because I have ADD. For the record, back in the day when I was unofficially diagnosed, attention deficit disorder and ADHD and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder were two separate things, and it was based on like the level of energy someone put out with it. Now it's just the same thing, so they don't bother making the distinction. I want to see if there's an event over here. Nope, just trees. And I do believe that mental trauma can be a strength. When you've dealt with depression, you become very insightful about yourself and things around you. Yeah. I'm not officially diagnosed with it for various reasons. And it's mostly because it's really hard to discern what's the difference between my bipolarism and ADHD, because a lot of the symptoms line up pretty close. I do take a form of ADHD medication that's mostly to try and help with me deal with my executive dysfunction. Where I'll just sit there and stare into the wall or into the abyss, whatever you want to say, for hours on end, not doing anything. But no, I feel that having mental tics, let's say it that way, because it's not mental problems, can be more of a benefit. Doing fine. Doing better than I was last night because mental stuff. We're just talking about how mental problems can actually be a strength, not a weakness. How much money do I have in this game? All right. Because I'll probably end up not streaming this. I'll probably streaming this once a week from going forward, and then I'll choose a day to do Fortnite. Yeah, I know some of you are going to groan at me playing Fortnite, whatever. And then I'll have a day where I play the Arkham games. I don't know in which order I'll have those days, and I might every now and then cycle out for Evil Within because I still want to finish that game. Wait, Cultist Refuge? Oh, definitely doing that. I need to find stuff to do outside the apartment, though. So there's a chance that I might invert my schedule where I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like, I do these long streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I'll have my news ones on Monday, Friday. Just so I have the ability to go out and do stuff. Yeah. And growth is not always linear. Sometimes you may have had 50 steps forward, but then you take 5 steps back. And those 5 steps back feel like you fell. But you really only stepped back a little bit. And it eats at you. Because one of the hardest things to learn especially when you're full of self-hate. Oh, you're talking about, okay, for the Arkham games? Yeah, I'm going to be playing Arkham Origins first. That was at the request of Trickster. I might pick up playing this game a lot more once the season starts. If nothing else, I'll be playing it a lot on my own. And that starts in like 20-odd days. Or in like 2 weeks. It starts on the 20th. That's what I was trying to say. I do appreciate that. I do. My way of dealing with a lot of my mental issues is usually just me cycling through and working it out. Because I shut down mentally. It just becomes like my brain goes into standby mode and I just want to work through the thoughts. I don't get self-destructive anymore. Like I used to back in the day, but I haven't gotten self-destructive in a long time. Mostly because I have a good security measures in my head. Because there has been more than one time where I've had episodes where I've looked at my YouTube channel and said, I need to delete this. There's no point in me doing this. I'm never gonna succeed, yada yada yada. And I'm able to intellectually pull myself out of it. Lag strikes again? Yeah. Remember, anything I need to repeat, just let me know. But yeah, the only things I can think of, like, I can go do geek things, like find D&D stuff. The closest D&D shop is more of a Magic the Gathering shop anyway. And I don't want to get back into Magic. Like, if I go there to play Magic, I'm going to get into it. And I get, like, oddly competitive when I do Magic. Because I'm not a competitive person by nature. So playing Magic again would not be something I want to do. And they do have D&D stuff there, like tables I can run D&D games. Now, one idea has been I can start like finding a running group to try and start training for like a 5K. Because I do want to do that. I do want to do that stuff as I continue to lose weight. I want to be able to like do 5Ks. And I could probably find a support group who's does 5Ks, train with them. And I could also just legitimately start going to the gym I have membership for. Because I'll meet people there and be able to do stuff there. The problem is, it's the actual me getting out of the apartment I sometimes have trouble with. Because I'm not agoraphobic. It's just the way I phrase it is sometimes feel like there's nothing outside that interests me, even though there's plenty. Because it's a simple train ride into the city, like a 30-minute train ride. Cost me $2.50 to go, $5 if I want an all-day ticket. I can take all the buses, all the trains all day for $5. All the trolleys. Gotta love public transportation. But I don't do it. But yeah, we all have got our own mental tics that cause issues. And it just takes a matter of reprogramming, finding the version of yourself you want to be, and then working your way towards it. That's what life's about. And I also kind of semi-work on the philosophy of, and it's not a universal truth, but I work on the philosophy of, if you're not embarrassed about your past, then you've never grown from your past. If you're somebody who just like lives in their underwear all day, saying, "Back in the day, I used to be the quarterback, and that was the highlight of my life," then you've never grown as a person. In case you're wondering, yes, I've given up on getting the Tempest Roar. Like, it's become an obscene joke at this point. I've pulled every other unique I can pull that is not, like, one of the uber rares multiple times. And actually, the uber rares aren't even dropping right now because they had a glitch going on with the Helltide chests. Mind you, I found out the Helltide chests weren't even able to drop uniques originally. So me farming them for uniques was stupid. The only reason I got my first Butcher's Cleaver was because I killed that one boss. Hopefully you'll get a chance to like watch me without lag eventually. So, like, in my head, this is in my head. I'm flipping over to talking about D&D for a minute. Because I think I've talked about enough about mental trauma and stuff like that. Unless y'all want to, you got more you want to bring up about it. So, in my head, a bard in D&D at level, like, probably I'll say 1 through 3, has only one instrument. It's their lute. Or whatever instrument they chose. Or whatever their way of performing their magic is. Because in theory, it's just performing. It doesn't require an instrument. But as they level up, we'll see about that. Anyway, I'm of the opinion that as a bard levels up, more and more instruments. We're talking about the musician type. If you're an actor type, then you get more extras start appearing, shadows of yourself. So like, but the music one, like at first it's just their loot, but then as they level up, you start hearing either a second lute or a drum playing at the same time. They start basically building up their own ensemble that's just kind of like the way their magic is responding to their performance. That's what it's how I kind of feel about it. Because I think that's just a good idea to how to handle it.
Not ready yet.
Trying to get rid of all these extras. God damn. Hey. Yeah, legendary dropped. Nice. That's an option. Like, it legitimately is. And I'd thought about it once a while back, and I think this is what I'm thinking I thought. Like, I can't guarantee that I'm right. I can't guarantee I'm right because, like, I don't remember my thoughts one for one. I got another unique. It's for a non-class specific. Actually, a little annoyed about that. Anyway, but no. That's actually a fun thing. Like a lot of the players I thankfully have had don't play the horn dog, the horny kind of bar that flirt with everything. They don't play those. So I haven't had to deal that because I will role play the person they're flirting with. Somebody actually said the idea of a really cool campaign is you have like a bunch of like half elf, half dwarf, half half orc, you know, all the other different halves you can do, and they find out that their father is all the same bard, and it just becomes a campaign of them hunting down this one bard. Somebody also pointed out you could also do the same thing, run a campaign with Zeus doing the same thing. Do I need to repeat anything for you? I don't think I was saying anything there for a little bit.
Must wait a moment.
Because I'm definitely, like, I'm considering it. It all comes down to, like, how I'm feeling. But I might eventually start running a D&D stream again. I haven't done it in a long time. Like, I think it's been almost 2 years since I last ran a D&D stream. But my rule is it'll have to be other content creators who are doing it. Because I want everybody on camera, or at least have a VTuber model in place. So, like, Gothic can play. Cool Walker would be able to play.
Must wait a moment.
And because and this is not a knock on anybody who plays it differently. I feel that if you're live streaming a D&D game, you need to have everybody on a camera to,
Not ready yet.
so that everybody can see their reactions when they roll that nat 20, when they roll that nat 1. When they can, like, when they're emoting what their character's doing. I'm listening. Found the warden so fast, I don't know where to look for the door. Oh, in regards to what you were saying about me joining a fitness club, I think my thoughts were I wanted to get a little further along into my journey before I decided on that, because self-hate. That's the moral of it, self-hate. Like, almost any of my answers can always go back to I hate myself, or I have hated myself. I'm working on that. That could be done, but doing it as a D&D game would be a little awkward, just because like D&D is like high fantasy and stuff like that, and Sherlock Holmes is Victorian England, effectively. Cool, I got the 5. So I'll get to open a chest. Did he grave himself up just so I couldn't get to him? You're right. You're right. That could work. One way I would what you could do, like, there's a lot of like, you could do mutants and masterminds for that game to some degree, because that would be a lot of fun. You have a lot of superheroes and villains running around. That could be fun. Yeah, it's not Victorian England. You're right. It's actually like just before World War One. Because I do know that somebody wrote a story. I don't know if it's not considered canon, but it is accepted into the Sherlock's community, even though it's technically a fanfic of Watson serving in World War One. And that's just generally a cool concept. And he's serving, even though he'd be too old, but because he's a doctor and a damn good one. Also, and he's also prior served, so they allowed him even though he's too old. But like, running a D&D game in World War One at all could be a lot of fun. Especially like a what is it called? Hang on. Vampire the Masquerade or Vampire the Requiem. Take your pick. Both could be a lot of fun during Victorian England. Or not Victorian England, but during World War One. Just the idea of like your characters are in trench warfare, and there's of course other monsters. At the end of the campaign, you can bring it over to World War II and what the Nazis unleash, because they don't care. And the vampires to be on their side, because what's more evil than a vampire? Or what's more evil than a Nazi? A vampire Nazi. Alright, so I gotta collect souls. Yeah. Bring tarnished... Oh, it is. Yeah, I gotta collect the anima. Your characters... And because of, like, the permanent, like, explosive clouds and the way the trenches worked, the polyonic words, that could work, too. And it also comes down to, like, how old's your character? Flintlocks might be a relatively new thing to your character. Yeah, it does leave a lot of potential. If I wanted to run Vampire the Masquerade, that would definitely be a very interesting game to run. But if I were to run a D&D stream, it actually wouldn't be a D&D. It would probably be a Shadowrun one, just because I feel like having a good cyberpunk, me running a good cyberpunk game would really get my creative juices flowing, so to speak. BRB, hi. You're doing school stuff, so fully expected. Oh, and for anybody who doesn't know, Vampire the Masquerade / Requiem, because they're basically versions 1 and version 2 of it. It's usually more often used as a LARP game than a tabletop game, but it can be. And it's a game that's very much more about the RP than combat. It does have combat rules, obviously. But the game is more geared towards you, like, talking your way out of stuff than you using your powers to to fight. And it's generally a really fun... Like, I have had nothing but good experiences with it. I've never done the LARPing side of it. I just never felt the desire to. Nothing against people who LARP, though. Like, I'm not shit-talking that. If you want to LARP, go for it. I can't remember the movie. But there was a movie that, like, where some LARPers accidentally actually summoned a demon, and then the story is like them, like some of the other specific LARPers trying to deal with it. One of them is played by Peter Dinklage. I think his character dies, but he was like this rich guy who was into LARPing, so he had like all the... Nothing about D&D? If you got questions, I'll teach you. Because that's actually something I want to start putting into my Coffee Over Gaming channel. Even if, like, they don't get any views, I would like to make some videos talking about, like, explaining, like, different concepts in D&D, different ways for DMs to shake up things within their game. My philosophy when it comes to being a DM is your job is to make the game fun for everybody, whether it be because of story or the combat mechanics. And if you have a player or players who can just nuke everything you throw and that's the fun they're having, that's great. However, if you have that one player who just can't do the damage and is really just wanting to RP, give them that chance to shine. You don't need to make everything about combat, even if, like, a lot of the players are geared towards combat. Let the player who can socialize have a chance to socialize. Let them RP their character. And by extension, sometimes I will intentionally not let a monster die just so that the player who never gets the kill gets the kill. Because I've had more than one players, who know the game inside and out enough to make characters who do over 100 points of damage at level 3, and everything they did is very viable. It's not them like me cheating with the rules to let them do it. And because they're doing this like metagame build, it makes their characters a little bit overpowered compared to everybody else. And I also do know that some players just roll like shit. Alright, see you when you get back. Alright, finally almost done with this dungeon. I don't like this dungeon. I'm like, oh, I hadn't done this one in a while. Might as well go ahead and do it. Really don't like it. Oh, this one. I don't know what it is. My stomach's like feeling really weird right now. Ooh. I ate food. Not much, but I ate something. I do have a giant ass chuck roast that I gotta cook. It's gonna take me like 2 hours for it to be finished. Yeah. Mine's more like at the top of my stomach, which is really weird. Like it's sitting up here, like closer to my diaphragm, but it's still, you know, part of the stomach, obviously. Let's look at the Morning Star. See if that's any good. If it's got any of the features I want. Distant enemies, damage to stun, critical, and no. Did you eat a demon? I had a worse joke I was going to say with that, but I decided not to. And I'm getting messages on my on one of my phones. I want to check something. Oh, nothing I care about. Alright, stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna scrap it. Which is actually back this way. We'll do. Hang on. No, just bad smell. Okay. Oh, am I missing a Legion event? Yeah, I am. Oh, not important. I'm waiting for a Helltide.
I can break that down.
If you could learn any language, like instantly, fluent, conversational, know everything, what language would it be? And mine is obviously Japanese. Like if anybody had, if I had to say that, then you haven't been in the stream very much. But it's obvious. But it would be Japanese. I need to move the camera back so it's directly at me more. I'll do that after this stream.
This must have belonged.
give me a drink twice, but whatever. Yeah, no, Japanese would definitely be a language. It's not, and it's partly just honestly because I would love to be able to like watch anime without subtitles and not have and be able to understand it. Because like one of the big benefits to me watching dub when I do is if it's something I've already seen, I can throw it on my TV over there and just listen to it while I'm like editing videos, playing video games, whatever. When I'm just wanting to turn my brain off. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to be able to know Japanese well enough that I could like go to Japan and like talk to people, be social. Hell, if it wasn't like, I'm gonna be brutally honest. If it wasn't for I've got such an emotional commitment here in Japan or here in America, I would 100% try to move to Japan. I've got military friends, allies, whatever you want to call them, who live in Japan currently, and would definitely give me a couch to live on until I got myself set up.
I'm not ready yet.
And by emotionally set up here is that I have a lot of like my family's out here. Like my dad, my grandfather, my sister. These are people that are the people I keep in my life because I care about them. They're not the people I've had to cut out because of various reasons. That's what I'll do. Because if I go around that way to get over to this legendary aspect, then I'll be able to pick up some other stuff along the way. Like the straight damage increase and attack speed increase is nice. Oh, I've never done this one that I remember. Oh, just survive, massacre enough enemies? Okay, I got this. So much fire. We didn't set this fire. So I set the world on fire, fire, and it's something. I know that you're right. I know that I got. Okay, good. I didn't know if I was gonna make that one in time, just because like they weren't spawning them fast enough. Oh, big baddie showed up. Master of immolation. Immolation. No breathing. I know that's not the words. Alright, I'm getting freaking insulted now. Fourth set of these boots I've pulled. 3 in 2 days. No, you're fine. You don't have to respond to anything. But I'm getting insulted. Like, insulted. Like, I know I said I'm not looking for it anymore, and I'm really not. But come on, man. Really? Oh, so something that's interesting, and I felt this. This myself. Like, you see me do it when I'm streaming this game, and I get like this, where I start getting tired. Apparently, that's a problem that a lot of players are having. Is like they'll be playing it, and they'll just start falling asleep. Like, they're having fun, they're enjoying themselves, but they'll just start getting tired. Just like there's like some hidden hypnotism in this thing. It's like, you are getting sleepy. Sleepy, and then like you start like getting hypnotized, like, I must kill demons, or I don't know. I'm just glad to know that I'm not the only one. Like, I was reading a whole Reddit post about it, so apparently there's like a handful of people who are like, let's go this way. That's a good one. But I might take a short game break, not bringing the stream down for a minute, but short game break to actually look that up, see if there is any like bodybuilding clubs or anything like that in the region. Because like Pepe is right, that is actually a really good idea for me to look at, not just like running, because running is like very far down my list of what I want to do. Because I do need to do cardio. I do need to start adding a lot more cardio into my workout. In fact, I'd probably be a lot skinnier if I had been doing cardio, even if it's just power walking. But I really don't trust my knees to be able to handle me jogging. Cardio is just like the exercise that is the most tedious to me. Like, I really don't like it. Because, like, all right, for the next hour, I'm going to be walking left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot for an hour. And it's just so tedious. Now, arguably, I can, like, pull up my phone and, like, watch an anime or listen to an anime or watch a movie that, like, one of the many ones I'm behind on. I don't know. Or just watch the news. And I'm talking strictly on treadmill, because if like I'm like out in the woods walking, because there's some nice trails where I live, I can't wear headphones. It's just an anxiety that I cannot wear headphones while like going for a walk around people. See what I was talking about?
Just wait a moment.
Had to refresh, yeah. Sorry, I'd stopped talking even. I kind of like spaced in and out there for a second. See, I even slept good. I probably need to get up, start and do some stretches or something. Watching my cooldown so I can make sure I get a good wallop in. I didn't need to. Cool. See what that legendary that dropped was. Nope, don't need it. Like, the game is getting really insulting with what it drops and what it doesn't drop. One of the legendaries I need for this build is actually one I used to get, like, left and right. Like, it was nothing. And then when I went on the rampage of deleting a bunch of them, or selling a bunch of them, now I can't find it. Not even that I can't find a good version of it. I can't find it. Oh, look, a chest. Here, after this dungeon, I'm going to hop out for a second. Not hop out of the stream, hop out of the game for a second. And look to see if there is any bodybuilding clubs. Now, obviously, I don't like doing Google searches. And I could probably do it through Firefox. I want y'all seeing my search history. Probably should switch over to standing mode. That'd probably help quite a bit. This dungeon is so freaking long because it's just me running between these locations, picking up these tablets, and then running back. Search history. Look, I'll admit, I look up some questionable things. I'd really rather not it be all over the internet. Like, I generally, like, that's actually something I'm always, I'm always curious about, like, how much it would possibly ruin a content creator if, as one of my friends put it, if they're horny on main. Like, they don't hide, like, their more lewd side. Like, I'm not talking about, like, that they, like, that's all they talk about, or they, like, actively pull that stuff up. But, like, say on Twitter, for instance, they like a very lewd post. Like, not even subtle. Like, would that ruin their career? Now, imagine if someone like Markiplier did it. He's got enough of a cult that it really wouldn't matter too much. Because the dude did tasteful nudes. He technically has an OnlyFans. And he did it for charity. And everybody kind of suspects that he's into being dominated. Or into pain, because If you watch like 90% of his content, you'll realize pretty quickly. Because one of the running jokes is he doesn't want to hurt. He doesn't like hurting himself, or he doesn't like pain. He just likes finding out the limits to his body.
Not ready yet.
Like, I'm just wondering, like, how much that would mess up, like, your career. Like, as a small content creator, I don't know. Like, there's the side of it that where, like, you being open and honest about who you are might actually be endearing. Might actually be a quality. Now, I'm not talking about, like, being a major pervert at the same time. Someone like, I'll say, Sneeko, who, like, hits on girls he's just talking to on stream all the time. And even if they're underage, because he's done that. Sorry. Like, I know this is, like, really weird stuff to be, like, wondering and curious about. And again, you do have people, like, mind you, like, large content creators can get away with a lot. Like, because I'm sitting here thinking, like, Aiden Ross, for instance, literally pulling up the hub, and, like, I don't think he lost any followers from it. Like, Quagmire, they've had to definitely dial it back with him, because, like, he is perverted. He's actively perverted. But they had to, like, dial back his, like, side of him that you're like, that's SA. Or that's the straight R word. Like, when you saw him, like, dragging an unconscious woman back into his apartment for exactly what you're thinking. So they definitely had to dial him back a lot. Because I'm honestly always afraid. I've been afraid most of my life to let that side of me out, to show, just to show that side of myself at all. Like, because I always afraid that I'll be viewed as a creep, and also because I don't have very good social cues to know when I'm, like, crossing a line. That's why I ask people, if I'm crossing a line, tell me. Otherwise, I will never know. You're fine. You're fine. Alright. So, teleport back to somewhere safe. Drop the controller for a second. And then we'll do that quick search. I'll probably also switch to standing. Just because I need to wake up. Like, my head's getting groggy. That's probably from the game. Alright. My coffee's half empty too, so I'll probably have to fill that up at some point. Oh, that was a good stretch. My lighting's going to be changing too because my monitor's going to be blocking one of the lights, so I'm going to be looking a little darker. And I can't turn on the one that's over there because reasons. Oh, it's up there. Zoom you out. No, you are as zoomed out as you're gonna get. All right, that's about as good as y'all gonna get me looking. I could probably open the blinds over there and probably get a bit. Or you know what? Screw it. I try not to use this light when I'm streaming, unless I forget about it. There. I'm gonna see my apartment a little bit better. It's not as clean as I'd like it to be. All right, let's leave game just so I'm not just sitting there. I don't like doing that. Now my search history should be safe here. Because this is what I usually use for work. Let's see here. Let's see what they got. Okay, so it looks like it's just a bunch of gyms. And because like I've got a membership down here at this one right here. I never go to it, but I should really start going to it. Like, there's nothing like anything that would get me in trouble when it comes to like my internet search history. There's nothing like that kind of stuff. I do have things that interest me that are not in the norm. Let's put it that way. Not a furry. I'll tell you that right now. I think me stroking my beard just then was like a good like way of doing it. But yeah, there's like the gyms nearby. Wait, bodybuilding groups. Let's see what this has got. I know what Meetup is, and I've got like an account with it. All right. I don't want worldwide. I want local. I want to actually go meet people. Tired of just talking to people online. You haven't got a chance already. Please smash. Oh shoot. Smash the like button. What does this do? Oh, okay, it's just an emoticon. Alright. Now let's see here. Bodybuilding. Well, that's in Chicago, but that sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, go take a nap. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be streaming anyway, just because, like, I don't know, my head's just not in the right place. So go take a nap. I'll catch you later. Like, why are you not letting me search, like, zip code? All right, let's go back to Google. Like, I know I could type it up there. I just don't. It's reflex. Try this one. So you have the Yelp one, but once again, this is just going to bring me back to different gyms. And then there's the trainers, but I don't want to pay for that. And of course, there's supplements that always pop up. I try not to take supplements. All right. You know what? Love you guys. I think I'm gonna bring this one close a lot earlier. I might stream after my D&D game. It depends on how I feel, how social I feel. My head's just not in it today. I need to go work off some stress and cook food. Work off some stress, most importantly. So, we appreciate y'all being here. This has actually been a really good stream. Lots of love.